Hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the Chile community, by the Chile community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, up tonight, we have an amazing episode. We have two sauces on deck that are sure to take a bite out of you, as well as a very great guest that we have scheduled here tonight. And we're going to be discussing so much about what got her into the world of HOT, as well as how she got competing and holding two League of Fire belts. Episode 145 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for being here and continuing to make this podcast what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of HOT. This is where you can find everything to do with the world of HOT. Up tonight, we have two sauces on HOT or Not, and these are going to be from United Sauces. This is from their Shark Bite line, so look forward to diving into those and sharing these other United Sauces hot sauce reviews as we continue to dive into the series. Also, we have Annee, the Reaper teacher, here as our guest tonight. So we're going to be discussing everything to do with the Reaper teacher, how she got started, a little bit about some things she's passionate about, and up-and-coming belt matches that she will be at. So look forward to having this conversation, but let's go ahead and jump on over to HOT or Not. All right, hey, welcome on into HOT or Not. Up tonight, we have two sauces on deck. Both of these are from United Sauces. This is the Shark Bite lineup. So we have the Hammerhead and the Great White. We will be discussing those here in a moment. But if this is your first time checking out HOT or Not, I do things a little bit different here. I don't do a 1 out of 10. I do it 1 out of 5. And those 5 are really based off of 5 different categories. Those categories are heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, burn. Add those up, average them out, because that's our total swear word rating. And yes, heat I do view as different than burn. Heat is that max first 30 seconds. Burn is that post 30 seconds, where it sits, how it sits, does it amplify, does it migrate, all those other fun factors that really come into the overall burn. As always, I do not like to read the ingredients. I like to let my taste buds do the exploration, and we learn all together if I was spot on or if I was missing something. Let's go ahead and jump into the very first sauce. This is the Hammerhead Habanero Edition. Looking forward to it. As you can see, overall great appeal, great visuals that are really kind of drawing you in from the labeling. Plus, as you can notice right there, there is a keychain attached to this that is 3D printed. It's got the nice overall movements to the body. We'll get into that here in a second. It does have a perforation on the cellophane there. So for all of those individuals that are keeping track, that's moved off. Give this thing a good shake. Beautiful bright orange coloring to this. Looks very smooth, nice flow, high flow sauce, but still has some grab. Great overall body. It has definitely that strong habanero overall aroma, a little bit of a sweetness and a little bit of a savory note carrying forward, but cheers. Man, oh man, Shark Bite. Absolutely amazing. So picking up right away, a nice crisp, savory note, getting that habanero body, a little bit of citrus, nice savory depth. I'm going to go ahead and guess that's maybe a little bit of onion there. As to be expected with a nice habanero sauce, you have that great habanero body carrying forward. You get a nice fruity bit from that overall habanero body, and then a nice crisp citrus cut that then plays into the savory notes that are going on from what tastes like maybe some onion. I can't really tell. There's definitely something else going on, but it adds to a savory kind of depth to this sauce. From a heat standpoint, if you're just starting out, brand new to hot sauce, this is definitely going to be hot for you. but in moderation, maybe you can kind of work this in with some condiments paired with some food and still be okay. If you've been working on things, you've kind of had a few hot sauces here and there, some more exposure, we'll put it that way. This is going to be a nice medium sauce for you. If you're constantly working on your own personal best and pushing yourself, it's going to range anywhere from a mild to a medium. Just go to classic habanero hot sauce taste and feel and vibe. It's not really going to clash with anything they have you going on. I mean, look at this. This keychain here is super fun, interactive. You know, they've done a great job over at United Sauces. Add another layer to the overall experience as you're getting your sauces. Let's go ahead and read off some ingredients here for the Shark Bite Hammerhead Habanero. Ingredients are habanero peppers, carrots, onion, water, salt, lime juice, vinegar, tomato paste, garlic, and absorbic acid. Very minimal ingredients, nicely done, well balanced, executed right. As far as pairings, the overall pairings on this, it would be anywhere that you would use a traditional habanero sauce. Pour this on, have a great time, and make sure those burritos fill that shark bite. All right, heat coming in at 3. We have aroma coming in at 3.75. We have a flavor of a 4, a versatility of a 4, a burn of a 3, and a total swear word rating of 3.55. There we go. Another amazing sauce. That is Shark Bite Hammerhead Habanero. Let's go ahead and check out the next sauce. This is the Shark Bite Great White Garlic. Very similar is the overall branding, labeling, a visual appeal, and of course, once again, a great 3D printed shark that is attached here. This one is a great white, as it is listed in the name, great white garlic. This is a great white shark on there. It's more than just a hot sauce. It now starts to become a talking piece. Let's go ahead and fire up those conversations and taste buds as I dive in here, because yes, this does have a perforation on the cellophane. Nice overall visual color here is kind of like a burnt orange almost on this one here. Very nice garlic note. It's that very fresh, crisp garlic note that you're carrying forward. A little bit on the back end of what smells like habanero undertones to it. Nice high flow, good hold. Oh man, great white garlic. Absolutely phenomenal. Lives up to the name. That garlic pop, oh my goodness, just absolutely takes it to the next level. The first thing that you're going to notice is that you're going to be taken on this journey from a aroma standpoint. The nice aromatics from this garlic and this sauce really pops forward, grabs a hold, and brings you in. And that same thing carries forward with the sauce. The second you eat it, you end up getting this nice, savory, smooth, almost a silky garlic note that comes forward. It's like hand holding you in. And before you know it, you're getting bit and you're having that great habanero come forward. You're getting a nice little sting around the mouth, around the tongue and gums. And then that savory body comes back through. Once again, tasting a little bit of what tastes like maybe some onion, obviously getting the garlic, and then that habanero on there. So a little cut of citrus maybe. Places I would utilize this: soup, stews, sandwiches, burgers, tacos, quesadillas, burritos, enchiladas, you name it. It's going on it. The only thing I probably wouldn't be using this on is going to be desserts. With that being said, let's go ahead and read some ingredients off here. We have habanero peppers, carrots, onion, water, salt, lime juice, vinegar, tomato paste, garlic powder, and absorbic acid. Shark Bite Great White Garlic Hot Sauce is bold. It's ocean-inspired hot sauce that sinks its teeth into your taste buds with a fiery habanero heat and a savory garlic bite. Brace yourselves for a wave of flavor that's smooth, sharp, and unforgettable, just like the Great White itself. I couldn't have said that any better. Absolutely amazing stuff coming out of United Sauces here. Fun, interactive, great for your food, and the bottle may go empty, but you will still have the nice memorabilia from your journey into the Shark Bite. As far as heat is concerned, for those individuals that are just starting out, it's going to be something that you want to use in moderation and kind of find where you're comfortable at, because it will be a nice medium heat for you all day long. If you've been working on things, you've been kind of pushing yourself here and there, it's going to be a nice medium heat sauce for you. And if you're constantly working on your own personal best and you're pushing yourself to the extremes, this is going to be anywhere from a mild to a medium heat. All right, heat coming in at 3, aroma of 3.9, flavor of 4.15, versatility of a 4, burn of a 3 for a total swear word rating of 3.61. There we go. Another amazing sauce. That's Shark Bite, great white garlic from United Sauces. If you'd like to pick up either of these sauces featured here tonight from United Sauces, I will have the direct links down below for them, as well as a link to the main site so you can check out the full lineup of amazing products from United Sauces. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Annie, how's it going?
What's up, Brandon?
Oh, so glad to have you here. And for everyone that may be familiar with you from the competitive side, the Reaper teacher, in our presence, obviously, so much to dive into. We've had the pleasure of being able to get to know each other, over the last, maybe year, 2 years, something like that, roughly online through different groups and so on. So glad to have you here and be able to share with everyone that's watching and listening who the Reaper teacher is. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Well, as always, the first thing I like to do with breaking the ice for everyone's first time on is really what got you into the world of hot, and then what was the moment that you decided that, hey, I'm going to try to start doing these competitions and really pushing myself and breaking out of, say, the everyday normal.
All right. Well, what got me into the world of hot? I have grown chili peppers for 15 years, so I have my own little quaint garden that's therapy for me. So the first year I grew chili peppers, I don't know, I actually came across a reaper plant, a scorpion plant, a ghost plant, and a habanero plant. And then I made stuff with them. So the next year I needed the peppers to repeat the same things. So, and then the cycle went on from there. And I really enjoyed growing them. They're beautiful, and I enjoyed the peppers. I cooked with them. I did not eat whole pods at that time.
Hey, that is definitely a one of my most enjoyable ways, though, to use fresh pods is incorporating them in cooks or trying to find where they pair best with food. So definitely understand that.
Me too. And I tell people I'm 85% culinary focused, and 85, 90, and maybe 10, 15% competitive. And I'm competitive against myself, and shock factor definitely is in there a little bit. So when the pandemic hit, I was bored, and I first was watching people argue because that entertained me. And then and then I posted pictures of my garden in the local Huntington Beach community gardening group, and Steve Sourman spotted me, and he said, you should join this chili group. It's one of the best ones. And that was Chase and Capsaicin. I'm like, chili group? What are you talking about? I had no idea there was an online chili pepper community. So I joined because, like I said, I was bored. And serendipitous as it is, the global chili community kind of absorbed me from there.
Definitely will do that quick, fast, and in a hurry. I remember the days of kicking around on just the hot pepper forums, etc., where it's not quite as video intensive type of what we're used to now, where you can quickly get and share videos and breakdowns. It was much more just reading and some pictures here and there, and a little bit slower response time. So yeah, it has evolved, and as you're saying, it definitely will encompass and really drag you in and make you make you a part of the community as a whole, and that's the great part about it. I mean, to think of your overall rise to go from that, really kind of finding these plants, having that interest sparked, and then having the online community aspect really come into a factor, and then now multi-belt winning League of Fire match, just absolute astonishing rising throughout that whole entire time that we'll definitely have to talk a little bit more about in that area. But one thing, of course, is really being able to gain a better understanding. How did you come to be the Reaper teacher? How did you land on that name?
All right, so as I said, I was teaching virtually also. So I was like, I was speaking like every day. You know how there's Donut Day or like the silly little holidays.
Yep.
Well, one of those days was Hero Sandwich Day, and one of my students said, "Well, what about the villain sandwich?" And I'm like, "Okay, what's in the villain sandwich?" And he said, "Two pieces of bread, a piece of lettuce, um, mustard, and a Carolina Reaper." I'm like, "All right." And then I like kind of moved on, right? And then they like were like, "Well, are you gonna eat a villain sandwich?" And it went on for like 2 weeks, and finally, they're like, they're like, "You've eaten ghost peppers." I'm like, "Well, it's not the same," and I didn't know what to expect because I had not ever eaten a Carolina Reaper.
Yep.
But they're like, "We believe in you. We have faith in you." So I set up with Bob the Voice Gilbert to actually both eat the villain sandwich together on Halloween, so we could dress as villains.
Nice.
And I played it for them the next on the Monday after Halloween, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're the spiciest teacher! You're the Reaper teacher!"
I love it.
And from that point on, I became the Reaper teacher.
Very nice. And a fun fitting way. Nicknames are great, and it's fun to be able to create your own or figure out your own, if you will. But it's much more meaningful, impactful when others can kind of help you, identify that. Yeah, that's got to be a nice, inspirational, and fun way to not only just continue to build out your career, but knowing that, kind of like how certain hot sauce companies or just companies in general will start out trying to go a certain avenue with a name, a brand, a logo, etc. And then halfway through, they're like, I don't like it, or I just don't feel like that's right anymore. You don't, whenever someone else kind of dawns that name upon you, it's not something that you just easily want to part ways with because of that sentimental slash, real understanding behind it. So that's very cool
Yes.
to hear.
So yeah, it's definitely deeply meaningful to me. At first I'm like, but I'm not grim. But I was told you can pull it off without being grim, and I have for I don't know 5 years.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, as far as like you said that you started out really growing and kind of getting in that way, what was like, I guess, the moment that you internally were going like, okay, I know I'm comfortable at this level, but I guess that real big first jump that you took, what was that moment for you, and kind of how did that end up, shaking out in your head mentally? Was it something that seemed like a daunting task, or did you just jump straight in?
You know, um, we were speaking about like my first entry into the global chili community period into a chili pepper group. Well, during that time, to maybe stay connected and stay entertained, um, Jared Smith and Ethan Rivera came up with this thing called the Cap Gun, and basically it was kind of adapt to your own spice level, but we were calling each other out. So actually, we were on video. Like I was on video after that span of time where I was trying to just figure out where I was and what I was doing. So that started kind of my getting more acclimated to eating spicy on video and eating spicier, period, though I always have eaten somewhat spicy. And then again, Bob the Voice Gilbert wanted to do the one chip with me. So I, like a lot of people, my first League of Fire challenge was the one chip.
Very nice. I still remember, painfully remember, not in the sense of the spice level painful, but the flavor. The dreaded one chip has been one of those that I was not a big fan of flavor wise, but heat wise, it was nice. Now, however, like I've mentioned in some previous podcast episodes, I think Pocky's best made chip to date was really
On a
their
ghost.
that ghost line. So much better in flavor, a nice respectable heat, and yeah. But the one chip definitely helped blaze a trail forward for so many outside of the community to really start to want to find out what it's like and dive in. And, you know, I would be willing to bet at least 50% of the people that came forward to try it probably didn't stick around to find out what actually good tasting challenges were like. But those others that ended up as being the catalyst for their launch was, you know, far greater than, you know, what could have come from it. So I'm definitely thankful for the overall Pocky One chip and the push that it was able to give a lot of folks.
Yeah. You know what? I'm indifferent to the taste. I don't think it's so horrible. It's not the best tasting chip either, but it's not. It doesn't repel me. You know, I actually have a lot of them. Let's see.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was the red box. I think the only is it? It was red and then blue and then green, or was it red? I can't remember the order, but I do remember
I
doing
don't
the
know, but I
red.
have a yellow one too. But I like the blue one that makes your tongue blue.
Okay, so I have not done anything that changes the color of your tongue, other than the black charcoal esque, you know, nature that inherently comes through.
Okay.
So I've done, I guess, the earlier editions, and then after that, I was like, I don't know if it could have actually gotten any hotter, so I just kind of backed off from it because I wasn't, like I said, wasn't too fond of the taste.
I understand.
The only challenge that, like, I would be willing to say do that one again because it wasn't, even though I didn't enjoy it, it wasn't something that I would completely write off. I've only had one of those challenges so far that I was like, never again. I don't care. I won't touch it. And it's really a shame to say, and I try not to talk about it too often, but it's that Coley's, the first iteration of the Coley's hottest noodles. I thought the heat was decent, like it had a good heat, but it was not, the flavor just was not there. I don't know if it was the way that I made it or if it was just always that way, but
I don't know what edition I did, but I also did that challenge, and it wasn't my favorite.
okay, so then it definitely wasn't just the way that I made it. So, okay, that makes me feel better. I ate the whole thing, completed the challenge. I recorded it and actually posted it on my old YouTube that has since been lovely taken down. Around the time that I started this one, it had a dispute against the other channel. I think it was whenever I was doing the process of verifying this one that they were like, hold on, wait a minute, there's somebody else rolling out content with the same everything, and I didn't.
So you
I thought it
needed
was
to change your
spam.
name.
Yeah, I thought it was spam, so I didn't
Oh, so you
adhere
ignored
to the
it?
emails, and so I ignored it, and then they shut it down, and I was like, well,
Oh man.
I guess it
Oh
is what it
well.
is. Oh well. And, you know, it only had like maybe 4 or 5 challenges on there, but that was you know, some footage that will, I guess, I think I might have it saved on a hard drive somewhere. I would have to go
I hope so.
hunting
If not,
for it.
it's forever lost in the internet oblivion.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the sad part because I had things like the I don't know if you're familiar with Go Ham, but he ended up having a spicy jerky, and it was dang good flavor, but it was also some of the hottest jerky that I've had to date, and some pretty intense cramps off of those as well. They were so tasty, but as you know, as everyone is well aware of now, I don't do prep, and even with the first tube of terror, which was also on that channel, was
Oh, unfortunate.
very first tube of terror that I ever did, and did that no prep, did the whole thing. And that was a wild ride. That was my first encounter with an endorphin dump, and golly, that was a lot of fun. But it is what it is. So
You know what? I have been aware that you didn't prep this whole time, but I think you may be the person with the individual propensity to be able to do that and to still move somewhat far into let's say a chili pepper competition
yeah, it's
environment.
it's I know it's not for everyone, but for
I'm
some
going to say
reason,
it is not for everyone. Do not try this at home.
my body just hates me so much more whenever I do try to have anything on there. So like literally just a cup of black coffee and I just buckle down and go. Even with the most recent one, sure, like, I was driving into Houston that morning. We stopped at Buc-ee's for gas, and I grabbed,
Bucky's.
I grabbed one of those Alamo sandwiches. So they're relatively small. It's just
Mhm.
like a turkey and cheese sandwich. I ate that at like 10 a.m. That was it all day long, other than a black coffee. And so
Oh my gosh.
by the time the competition rolled around, it didn't kick off until about 8. Really, it was scheduled for 7:30, but there were some people that didn't show, so last minute kind of shuffle, kind of
Yes,
put a little bit of damper.
there often is a last minute shuffle.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. And it's completely out
so
of
basically your
their.
stomach was completely empty,
Yeah,
completely,
yeah.
like totally. And I am on the opposite end of that spectrum. my I explain my prep procedure somewhat like A Beautiful Mind. You know how he's like with all the equations.
Yep. That's and everyone that has kind of like, because for a while I was putting out feelers like, hey, how should I do this? What can be best? What's this? What's that? Um, every time I tried to implement it, it was just my body already naturally wants to hold on. I'm not one that is just easily willing to boot. I have to like force myself.
So do
So
I.
it's one of those things I've noticed. If I prep more, my body is much harder to force to do that, because it's like, no, you've already fed me, we're good. As to where with the peppers, going in empty, any kind of challenge, any kind of peppers, etc. It's like my body says thank you for the food, and then I just know. I know that I need a carbonated beverage, and I need to like break the seal, pop the lid, whatever, slam it back as fast as I can, and then I just do jumping jacks until it all
Oh my
fizzles up in my
gosh.
stomach to come out. So to answer how that whole last competition went, ended up ending the competition, and I said I was going to turn off the camera. I shouldn't have. I should have just carried it around, because walk over, start talking to folks, then waiting in line for a Topo Chico at the bar because it was a long line. And then halfway through the line, I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I can right now. So I jump out of line, start taking more photos, talking to other folks. And there was just like so many times that I should have just had the camera rolling and with me. But it is what it is. And so next thing you know, it's like, okay, 30 minutes after, I probably should get this out now. And so, I ended up grabbing that Topo Chico, 15 minutes of jumping jacks. Everyone's walking into the bathroom like, what's going on? They just see me in the
I
back
love
corner like,
your jumping jack strategy. It's amazing.
yep. And so I just feel it like fizzing up in my stomach, agitating. I'm like, all right, game time. Here we go. So literally max 20 minutes of discomfort during that whole entire time.
Mhm.
Obviously, the challenge sitting at the table is what it is. You're enduring
Yes.
that normally, but the
Hmm.
actual discomfort that I like to categorize as like that post afterwards type of thing.
Aftermath.
Yes. And so 20 minutes, not bad. Then the second I was done, I was like back to normal, out there sampling, trying things, eating other
You had
spicy
no
treats.
further cramps.
No, not a single one.
Oh,
Yeah.
you lucked out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's, I think, so. Like I said, the times that I prep, those cramps carry on forever, and they just don't ever seem to go away. It's like I
I
can't
think
get it all out.
it's just your own individual like makeup.
Yeah, yeah,
that but also I can say I sympathize with you because I also cannot purge intentionally. Everything I do besides compete, I digest.
hmm
My body holds on to like clutches onto capsaicin like it's in love.
yep, yep. I don't understand it. I mean, I do now inherently more. I understand my body in that sense, but I still don't
Yes.
understand why it wants to just cling on so hard. Even that day that I did the Trident bottle dump, what was wild is knowing about the same volume at which like goes in, expecting at least that same amount to come out. It took hours to get all of that out. And because I didn't at the time, I didn't know, hey, grab a um, fizzy carbonated drink and then try to do that.
So
So
you learned that for yourself that that is what you need to do, and your jumping jacks, which is very
yeah,
unique and Awesome, you found a strategy that works for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
compiled a list of different preps that lots of that other people do. So if anyone ever wants assistance with prep, I wouldn't go to Brandon.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing is, golly, in that back chat before the competition, one of the other competitors asked like, "Hey, what should you do to prepare your stomach beforehand?" And I was like, "I'm the worst person to ask. I just say black coffee." And
Don't
so,
try this at home.
yeah,
Don't try this at
yeah,
home.
it was too funny. Obviously the person was guided in the right direction by everyone else in there, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love being able to sit there. The bond that is just formed with some friends that you do know, but ultimately everyone's pretty much like a complete stranger until after that competition, and then you're like, we just forged a friendship here, and
I love the. Oh, I guess I love the love and the camaraderie.
yeah,
When it comes to competing in League of Fire competitions, as well as in the global Chile community.
absolutely. And then I guess on that note, I guess to put it back towards what you have coming up here soon. You have the Stockton belt match coming up, and then is there some others that you have coming up?
You know what? I'm competing in the America's Belt match in Blaze for the Brave next weekend, which is going to be a huge chili fest. There's three different League of Fire competitions at the professional level, and there's also going to be an amateur chili pepper eating match there. The World Belt match is going to be held there. The America's Belt match is going to be held there. The the road to the belt match is going to be held there. It's going to be it's going to be really crazy. There's going to be so many of us there, like all at the same time. I get to see all of my friends and my spicy family. Jason Pettibone from Late for Work is in charge of this event. It's at the Barn Resort in Gettysburg, which I've already seen. It's a beautiful location. There's so many activities planned, things for children, so many vendors. That festival is going to be amazing. But
Absolutely.
then next weekend, I'm going to be participating in the Stockton Belt match, which um, I would love to have more people come to cheer me on and perhaps decide to be by my side competing um, at that in that competition. That the festival is actually a harvest festival. The location I was told was beautiful. It's an apple orchard.
Oh, nice.
It's at an apple orchard that they make hard ciders, different, and I heard they were specific and very high end. And I actually ran into someone that was familiar with that place when I was out, um, and he told me more about it. And again, reinforced it was a beautiful location, and a lot of the locals really enjoy going there. And he's going to bring some friends to come cheer me on.
Very nice. The Blaze for the Brave, that is going to be, as you just described, a massive event. Everyone should try to tune in. If you can't be there in person, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jason has done a tremendous amount of work to really blaze that one forward, pun intended there. And really, I know his trajectory and goals and path forward is just to keep making it bigger, making it better, and have it really be, the talked about event. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch and witness. And yes, I'm super excited for this Stockton one. The overall
Yeah,
venue sounds amazing.
Chad Inman, who's also in Primo's Wrecking Crew, has put in a lot of work and he's put in his heart into it. And I'm really looking forward to going. I decided I was gonna just go and play, but I think my days of being mascot and cheerleader are kind of over.
Hey,
I
it's
I
not
was
a bad thing.
persuaded to compete.
Yep. Yep. Not a bad thing at all. And hopefully, I mean, I know you have had experience with it, but how do you handle and react to the beast?
The Beast.
Yeah, from Chad, his overall cross that he has going on there.
Oh, I see. You know, I don't really clock. I don't think I have specific reactions to certain peppers necessarily, except chocolate pods.
Okay. Okay.
I have an aversion to chocolate pods. So I have tried the beast pepper. The beast pepper is intimidating, but it's not anything that I am going to shriek back in fear of.
Yeah, well, the reason why I asked that is I was actually just recently talking about this with somebody. The Primo Tally, while it is hot, it is tasty. I do enjoy it. It seems to have a lot of people's numbers, as to where for me it's a nice. I don't know. My body just handles it different. It's a nice little treat. It feels like. Obviously, the more you eat, the more that it feels like. It's just that spread of the receptors getting hit in the longer duration that you're feeling it. But man, I think a lot of people got really passionate about it being extremely the hottest thing they've ever ate, and I feel that it is just an absolute pleasure to eat. I do enjoy that one a lot. So I didn't know if maybe there was, which it sounds like with the chocolate pods, those kind of ring the bell a little bit differently for you than say some others.
I just don't like the taste of the chocolate pods. They taste like spicy flowers to me.
Fair
So I'm
enough.
like, oh, chocolate pod, yay.
I have had a few between last year and this year that have really like blown me away, because most of the time you'll eat a chocolate pod and it'll be like a little bit earthy or smoky or like a nutty taste. But ultimately, I've had 2 or 3 different ones since last year to this year that have been more sweet, which is interesting. And there's like a nice fruity undertone to it. And I'm like, this is very much not the normal for a chocolate pod. So hopefully
Well,
we'll see
that's an
more of that.
outlaw. Those ones were outliers, and I don't trust chocolate pods.
Well, easy enough. So I think ultimately this is, you've already got 2 belts. This could easily be number 3. I mean, you got quite a few, maybe few opportunities here. Maybe this could stack up to belt number 4
Oh my gosh,
collectively.
that's too much pressure. My
I
goal is
think.
always in every competition and not to be the one to go out first.
Well, that's definitely a good. I do agree with that. That's always, I guess, the underlying tone in my head is just don't be first, and then after that, it's like, okay, well, I'm enjoying this too much to walk away at this point, and so I just continue to push on. So it's, I think it would be interesting, and I haven't really talked about this much, but maybe this is actually a good time, because you have gone through this and lived through the different speed rounds and everything that kind of can come from these competitions. And so I started thinking, so many folks, like, let's say it comes down to a speed round, whether there's 2, whatever. There's so many times where it will be the competition's done, the winner's called, but the second that it's over, the winner will have less than a 2-minute window before they lose it right then and there, either in the bucket, in the trash, what have you. I
Yeah.
started thinking about the overall just aspect of whether or not, because League of Fire already has, like with a lot of their challenges, a burn time afterwards. You have to wait, and so I started thinking it would be interesting. Let's say there's 2 people at the table. It goes to a speed round. Both finish. The first person finishes, they stand up. They have essentially crossed the line, but if there was a afterburn of a 5-minute hold, not only would that make it interesting for the crowd, because it could change at a flip of a dime, but at the same time, if the other person can stomach it and finish it, and them also, the second they're done, complete a 5-minute afterburn, it would be insane. Because if the first person does it, they complete their time, 5 minutes is up, cool, they've completely sealed the deal. But then you would lose, or you would minimize the idea of the individuals that maybe go, okay, well, I know that I can't eat quite as fast, but I know I can endure longer. So it kind of makes it this interesting tango. And so, as someone that's been at the table quite a few times, how does that end up shaking out in your mind? Does that even something that you think is feasible or reasonable to be able to
I
apply?
don't think it's feasible, but it is an interesting and unique idea. The atmosphere of the chili eating competition is just different than when you're doing individual challenges, first of all. And the beginning of, well, the first 10, up to 10, 12, 13 rounds of the chili pepper eating competition is a measure of endurance.
Yep.
However, if you the purpose for the speed round is once whatever the competitors that are still remaining and have endured that long, there has to be something that breaks the tie, or the that break that helps to choose and have a winner emerge. So, due to time constraints and so on and so forth, I don't see that as feasible, because at the time of the speed round, that's when you're down to the wire, and there needs to be a winner,
Yeah.
a winner crowned, chosen.
Yeah. Well, it just simply was something that like started rattling off in my head because I was like,
I
you
like
know,
your idea. I'm just saying it's not
yeah,
because due to the nature of the competition and the purpose for the regular rounds and the speed round, it won't it, it can't be implemented in that setting.
yeah, yeah. No, it makes sense. It's just it's something that I had been rolling around in my head thinking about. But yeah, no, I definitely think that it would bring potentially some more excitement for the live crowd there. Obviously, those watching online are going to continue to watch, but because the overall, the speed round, everyone's watching the whole way through. Speed round, everyone's watching, and then the second that it's done, it's like you see everyone just kind of disperse afterwards. They're like, okay, well, it's done. That people either go to the bathroom or get their drinks, or they go see at vendors, and so on and so
Mm.
forth. And it's like I think that intensity would be like, oh, wait, what's happening next? Who's gonna? So it kind of keeps people on the edge of their seats, and so that's what had me initially thinking about it, because even with the Houston Texas match that just recently happened, it was very much that way. It was like you start seeing quickly people start dispersing the second that the person stands up, and they're like, okay, well, this is how it ends. And oftentimes you'll also hear a lot of folks not sticking around for, say, the post competition announcements or thank yous, etc. And that would be a great time, I would have thought, to sprinkle that in there is while the timer is awaiting. But no, that's an interesting, just an interesting thought I wanted to throw out there and gauge off
I
of some
love
other
your
chili
interesting
heads.
thought. I just don't, because of the nature and purpose of both aspects of the competitive chili pepper eating competition in League of Fire. I don't see it as working with in that setting.
Yep.
But because you also have to consider that there's allotted stage time. Um, a, a chili pepper eating competition, it already lasts like an hour, hour and a half. People about that time, people are losing their attention.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, speaking, I guess, on that same note, you have done quite a few challenges. I mean, you're always very consistently towards the top of the leaderboards for League of Fire. But yeah, I know that you've done wide array of challenges, not just League of Fire exclusive ones. As you've kind of been able to push through these, have you found that there's certain challenges that you really enjoy more than others, whether that be with hot sauce or pods or tinctures or powders or just some fun creative, avenue?
Of course, well, I have more than 400 hot sauces, so um, I am definitely I'm definitely a connoisseur of fine craft made, small batch craft made hot sauces. So shout out to all the crafters and producers. So
Absolutely.
one of my favorite things to do is find the perfect pairing of my hot sauce with the entree, or the food that I'm eating, just as if you were pairing your food with wine.
Yep. I think that's a great way to look at it. And I feel like a lot miss that opportunity to really try to explore because just simple interactions with others that may be out at a farmer's market or what have you, trying to explain to them the different ways in which they can use hot sauce or a spicy product in general. It's like, you know, explaining it to a few, it's like a light bulb goes off and they're like, wow, I had no idea that this could apply to anything outside of tacos, right? And
Right.
so it's like, tacos are a great vessel. They're a great avenue for you to enjoy. But there's so many other fun ways to go about it. So much so that I've now started to, if I internally identify a sauce as sure, it can have a wide gambit of use cases. If
Hmm.
I feel it's best suited for drinks or best suited for desserts, I will literally set it aside solely so I can maximize its true potential in my mind of how I think it should be used. And I think with that avenue in mind, it's like it opens up the door for you to want to have more sauces readily available because then you can kind of like figure out which ways work best. Same thing with like there's ones that I identify as like being great, either marinades or salad dressing type of hot sauces.
Right.
So yeah, it's a
So
lot of fun.
I go even further and more detailed where I'm pairing specific Asian sauces with specific Asian dishes and um, specific, and then I have my Italian hot sauce bag, and I'm picking and choosing from that to match the entree I'm eating. And you know what? I take my hot sauces with me everywhere I go. So I come in packing with with my hot sauce holsters.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
to hot sauce holsters. With at least 6 hot sauces
nice.
everywhere I go, and chili powders as well.
Yep. There's no reason to leave home without something. That's for sure. I used to, and the only reason why I don't have it there is because I haven't replenished it yet. But I used to carry a bottle of tink, a bottle of powder, and a bottle of hot sauce in my truck at all times for just that occasion in case I was like, I'm somewhere, but what I have in my pocket doesn't quite align best with what I'm about to eat or do. And so I'll swap out one for another. But I need to go replenish the truck again here soon. So I'll end up doing that not too far off, but yeah, actually I got a few in mind that I'll probably put in there later today. But it's a fun way to go about it. And I know that ultimately being able to be plugged into things like Cap Crew and League of Fire, etc. There's always a fun game, a fun challenge, some fun shenanigans to get into, and really just be able to build that camaraderie with other chili heads and continue to push the burn further. I know that you are a great, overall influence and proponent to adding into the things like the 12-day box, etc., and just having some fun being able to introduce folks to things that maybe they wouldn't introduce to themselves naturally. So I guess share a little bit about that because I know that I've had the pleasure of having some of the chocolate most recently, and I was actually surprised. I didn't taste anything abnormal that I thought I would have normally tasted something different on.
Well, um, well, you also asked me about a few of my favorite challenges. So let me just rattle
Okay.
off a couple. I love Ire or Die, the League of Fire challenge, Ire or Die, the Ryback challenge, the crispy one, and their Ire or Die. Though I don't know why I really love that. But I love pickled things. I love pickles,
Okay.
and also the Burnyan one and the Mochi challenge. So I just wanted to call out some of the challenges I like. I have an affinity for as well. Okay, moving on to what Sir Swears a Lot right here is talking about right now. I have a well developed eclectic exotic palate. So my sister and my friend Tilly call me a food snob. I prefer food connoisseur, but I also am strangely particular and picky about the foods I eat. So I don't like potatoes and I don't like beans, but I eat bugs.
So interesting. no potatoes, no beans, but bugs. I just the first time I heard about that, I was just like, what do you mean? Like potatoes and beans are just so commonplace in the South for me that I'm just like I can't fathom the idea of someone not enjoying those. But I assume it's the exact same for you on the aspect of the bug aspect. So it's like and yes, we have had some conversation about this before, as well as like different things that is commonplace and accepted as seafood also kind of fit in that same category. And so it's just like the crossover does make sense. There is some correlation here,
Well,
but it's interesting.
well, by bugs I mean insects and arthropods, and
Hmm.
uh, arthropodia, seafood and insects and insects and arthropods are all fall under that phylum.
Yep, yep. And that was
If you
mind
believe
blowing
that
for me.
level is phylum.
Yeah, well, it was mind blowing to me because I guess I just never had framed it that way in my mind or thought about it in that way, and so learned something that day, and also the being able to eat that chocolate was actually, like I said, once again very good. I know that I had golly, trying to do that box, I had just also gotten over being sick right beforehand, so like everything was slightly off for me. It just wasn't quite there. So I was pushing through to get all that done. I believe it was you that also gave me the final nudge to finish out that death cheese. I can't think of it. I think that's what it was called, death cheese, right? Um,
Yeah, Brad enjoys death cheese. I love his cheese. Maybe the death cheese is pretty intense,
well,
but you did it.
yeah, I ended up eating it, and then it wasn't till after I ended the recording that I was just like, I saw. I think someone had mentioned it towards the end, but I didn't see it in the comments about having cap crystals in it, or soaked in cap crystals, or something like that. And so I was like, "Well, this will be interesting." But good thing I'm about to go to bed, because one of the other things that I seem to be really good at is, as long as I can go to bed after I eat that, I'll sleep through the cramps. Like I may feel it and sit up for about 10, 15 minutes, and I just breathe through it, lay back down and go to bed.
That is a possibility for me too. And like I said, everything else I eat, I digest. So if I get cramps from something, I suffer through them.
Yep.
Or I mitigate them with after prep products, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't purge everything I eat because it's very difficult for me. Number one, number two, I'm not. For me, it's not. I don't feel like it's good for my body.
Yeah.
Um, but back to the spicy, the spicy chocolate bug bark that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
made. And he's speaking about a chili, a specific chili group that we belong to called Capsaicin Crew. And I would have to say that it is where you can find some of the most insane, and we're all insane, some of the most insane, eccentric, nutty chili heads in the world.
Absolutely.
So there's a 12-day box, and for the 12-day box, a person, each 12 people choose to fill in a day with a product that they've created or made to share with the people that receive this said 12 days box. So I chose to make spicy chocolate bug bark last year, actually it's almost Christmas again. The year
Yep.
before last and last Christmas, because people enjoyed it so much the first time, and I wanted to introduce something that I enjoy and is novel and maybe somewhat scary to some people, in a manner where I thought that maybe they'd learn to enjoy it also. So I put crickets into a chocolate bug bark with some nuts and craisins and other things. And just like any other meat, insects and arthropods need to be seasoned well or incorporated with something that complements their taste. So
Hmm.
people are like, "Oh, eating bugs, you just like pick them up and eat them." That's not what you do.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm
No.
happy to hear that you enjoyed that, and I got to introduce my exotic eating to you and several other people in Cap Crew, and that you were surprised about
Yeah.
You were surprised by the taste and surprised that you actually did enjoy it. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And what was interesting is after finding out about the crickets being in there, finishing it off became one of those things. It was, normally we'll yell out for dominance and do like another pod or a Robbie or what have you. But that was simply for dominance because the amount of times crickets have down here, whenever there's certain times when they just are out like crazy, that will just jump all over me. It was like a good way to be like, all right, well, here we go. Don't jump all over me. I'm going to eat you. So it
I
was,
totally understand that though, but I'm going to say a lot of insects and arthropods taste nutty. They have a nutty taste. They don't taste like you would imagine in your head. But
yep,
for dominance or for revenge,
yep.
said, remember I mentioned the 10-15% shot factor?
Hmm.
Um, I eat live hornworms because they eat my tomato plants and they eat my pepper plants.
I've seen more people doing that recently, actually. So that part is interesting. I don't know if I'm ready to cross to that extent yet. I much more enjoy shish kebabbing them and putting them towards or trapping them on the wall next to the wasp or what have you, so that the wasp can then have their way and nature take its course. But uh,
I've cooked them also and I've made them into pretty delightful dishes. The eating them live thing is just because I can.
yeah, I more power to you. That end right now is still. It's not, the door's not completely shut, but it's not open enough yet for me to be too adventurous in. So yeah, I think that what you're doing is cool. It's great. It brings a new, fresh take on ideas of adding spice to areas that other people would not normally think to, venture down. And firsthand experience, being able to enjoy that bark and really not like I said before anyone said anything, I had no idea. I picked up the craisins and all this other stuff that were in there, and I thought it was just a nice spicy chocolate, and so didn't really think anything of it after that. And then like I said, being able to finish it off was more strictly for revenge, if you will, aspects. So it was a lot of fun.
But
I
you're
enjoyed it.
already enjoying it, so then it is all in your mind.
Yeah. Well, as with most things, it's one of those things I try to educate and share, and so on and so forth. Is really the whole mental aspect. So much of life is just simply that. It's just the mental aspect of things. Sure, there's times where you can cross the line of, there's maybe something that's mental aspect, but is also not great for your overall physical body to remain in function, if you will. So things that are inherently poisonous to our body are still should be not observed in the same
There's
rules.
a strong physical component there.
Yes, yeah. Which is also like I was talking through with somebody else as well, and it's like, well, they were saying how they'll eat peppers and they try to get in the mindset and they feel like they get there, but their body just inherently wants to reject it. And I'm like, okay, well then that's just your body kind of doing what it's gonna do. You can't always control that, but it is a tipping point that you don't inherently think of. Is your body does send that signal saying, "Hey, we don't need this in our system anymore. Let's get this out." And so it's all that hardwired, evolutionary, clinging to life aspect that is hardwired in our brains to, not
Yeah,
eat
that's a
certain things.
physiological response for sure.
Yes, yeah. So, it is what it is, but with time, with training, with
I agree
devotion and
with that.
commitment.
And I know some people have a propensity, like, I'm not sure if I have a naturally high tolerance or I've just been eating spicy. I just eat spicy and it's there. But I've seen people go from not being able to really handle, let's say, pepper
Yep.
to working towards building their tolerance and ultimately succeeding where they could compete at a lower level, like at an amateur level, and I'm certain they could build beyond that. You can build your tolerance. It's not something that is a stagnant. It's not a stagnant measure inside of you. You can build it.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there was there's something that you're very passionate about as far as a nice organization that you have going on. Share with everyone what that's about, and of course we'll have that link down below so everyone can chime in and really be a part and chip in on that as well. And so would love to continue to share that out with everyone else that's watching and listening.
All right. Well, my passion's people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I love them. I ran the Best Buddies Club at my high school for 14, 15 years. And then there was a situation where I didn't have anyone that was going to go with me to an event, but they still wanted me to attend that event. So I asked if I could bring my alumni, and I called 11 former students, and 9 out of 11 of them showed up. The event was quite a distance away from where these students live, or my former students live. So I was so surprised to have that many of them show up, and they were so happy, and they enjoyed the event so much, and seeing each other and just the interaction in the community. And I saw a need for adults, young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, to have a best buddies group, or a place where they feel included and they belong, where they can meet in the community post high school. So I opened, I started a Best Buddies Citizens chapter, and built it from the ground up, following that experience in the Long Beachish area, because really we have people coming from a lot of different areas in Southern California. So we go to the bar because they're adults. We had a pizza party last night. We had a beach party. We're going to have a Halloween party. We go out to a Mexican food restaurant. And we just enjoy spending time together. I'm hoping to take them to the amusement park and the casino, because basically they tell me what they want, and I try to figure it out for them.
That's awesome. And it's a great way to be able to, as you're saying, like have a way for those that have already kind of like gone through, their schooling and everything, to get plugged back in and helping the new, the younger generations, right, coming back through. And so I think from that standpoint, it has to be, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, it has to be uplifting, not only for those younger kids.
Just for the adults. So I
Oh, okay.
transitioned to building a program for adults. And this is because what you said about being plugged back in. Once
Yeah.
they leave the high school setting, it parents or caregivers have to be very proactive in
Okay.
getting them into programs, and having other social opportunities in the community. And often they'll fall through the cracks. And I want more for them, and I'm
Yeah.
sure their parents and caregivers want more for them, and they want more for themselves. So right now, this is the small thing I'm doing to help encourage that, and encourage inclusion. And hopefully I can build from there. I have a lot of ideas, but right now they're in idea form. But for now,
Nice.
this is what I'm doing. I am very passionate about it. It's very well received, and I would appreciate any support the community would love to lend to my charity.
Absolutely. Sounds like a great opportunity. Like you were saying, and it's just the idea of being able to have another touch point to help foster the growth and development. That's a great thing. I look forward to hearing the continued success and growth of what you have going on there, and I love it. I think that's great. I definitely like the the ability to just continue to add to the overall community and build it up. So that's the main thing. Big about community building ultimately.
I'm big about community building too, and obviously, I love the global chili community. I love League of Fire. My number one goal, regardless of where you see me or what you see me do or grow, is to spread love and light to the global chili community and beyond.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to. I think we've hit on unless you have a nugget of knowledge in mind. I think that we have the nugget of knowledge covered. But I will say, if you do have one, let's go ahead and we can talk about that here. Other than that, if you had this is your opportunity. If you had someone in mind for the hot seat, this is your chance to place them on the hot seat. This is someone that you think would make a great guest for the show.
I am going to call out. Have you had Jeff on the show?
I have not. We have had a few times of almost having it happen, and then just other things, whether it be on my end or his end, have kind of made it to where the timing just hasn't hit up right. But he's definitely someone that should be here.
I think Jeff would make an excellent guest for your show. I'm calling out Jeff the fireman.
All right, Jeff, you're on the clock. I got you. I'll be reaching back out to set that one up. Absolute pleasure to have that nomination roll in. So thank you so much. And, this is a great opportunity. Obviously, you have some upcoming belt matches that can easily be mentioned and plugged here, but also all the ways in which people can, keep up with Reaper Teacher. And really, this is greatly beneficial for those individuals that are on Apple Podcasts as they only have the audio.
I see. Well, I'm the Reaper Teacher on Instagram, and I am the Reaper Teacher on Facebook. So those are my socials. Please follow me. I'm odd and interesting.
In all the best ways.
In all the best ways. I'm definitely beautiful, eclectic, eccentric. And I enjoy sharing what I do with people, so I would greatly appreciate it if you would follow me and comment on the things I post, because it's not that fun to share things with nobody.
Fair enough. And then you got the Stockton belt, you got the Blaze for the Brave, all these great events coming up, and I'm sure so much more that you'll be dropping on social. So what better way than to keep plugged in with what the Reaper Teacher has going on than following
Definitely,
along.
because then you can see where I'm going to be. If you're around, you can show up. I'm going to say, if you're coming to Blaze for the Brave, come say hi to me. If you live in and around the Northern California area, even the Southern California area, which is where I live, and I'm traveling there, please come to the Stockton belt match. I would love to see you, and come say hi to me, and you know who to cheer for.
There we go. I like it. Well, Annee, thank you so much for coming on here. It has been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to diving back in. There's still so much more we can jump into and discuss. Just simply on the sheer amount of different challenges and fun shenanigans that you've been a part of. I'm sure there's tons of stories to uncover and dive deeper into. So would love to have you back on the show.
So we can have a part 2 later, because I have a plethora of information and knowledge and experiences I'd love to share with you and your audience.
Would love to have you back on. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I can't wait till our next meeting. But in the meantime, keep the fire in your heart.
Annee, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. If you would like to keep up with the Reaper Teacher, I'll have the direct links all down below, as well as the overall passion project that she has going on. If you would like to support that, I'll have that link down below as well. If you enjoyed the products that are featured here on Hot or Not, I'll have the links for those down below as well. And want to say thank you so much for everyone that has been recently finding the channel, and or those individuals have been rocking since day one. Thank y'all so much. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot, because this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Also, if you're on a platform that allows for podcast rating, please give a 5-star, as that helps the algorithm continue to get this out in front of the right individuals. Also have sponsorships open up for those individuals that are available and wanting to sponsor the overall podcast. You'll have a featured segment and much more. So if you're interested in that, reach out on socials, reach out via the website, and we'll get that squared away. Also, if you're going to be out at the North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, which is just right around the corner, look forward to seeing y'all there. If you're going to be in Texas or you're in the DFW area, head on out there. You're going to see tons of great vendors, a family-friendly event. There's going to be stuff for the kids, stuff for those non-chili heads as well. A great time all around. Also, the Winsboro belt match that is coming up, the Dallas belt match for League of Fire, is on October 25th. Look forward to seeing everyone out that way as well. It's going to be an absolute blast. There's also a wing competition, so if you are wanting to take on a wing challenge, sign up for that. It's going to be tons of fun, and it's going to be definitely pushing yourself. Want to give a quick shout out for the sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, I highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site, maybe you had a guy at one point, maybe you never got around to building one. Reach out to WebDX. They make it simple, painless, and easy. And the best of all, you get to focus on what you do best while they get you looking great online. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.